Crochet an easy beanie hat with me. I'm using a half double crochet stitch worked in the back loop to make this beanie hat. I'm using the Lion Brand Yarns Hometown USA yarn, and this is a super bulky number 6 weighted yarn. I like using bulky yarn because it makes it for a very fast, easy project. It's great for beginners. I'm also using the recommended 9mm crochet hook as well. So to get going, we're going to make our foundation chain. First, we're going to do a slip knot. And I just like to do a bow and then pull out the tail end. And we have our loop and our slip knot. And now we're going to start with our chain. We're going to chain 20. So I like to hold my yarn with my thumb and middle finger, and then we're going to yarn over and pull through the loop for our first chain. Then I'm going to move my middle finger up and hold the chain again as we work our way up. This helps to keep the chain straight for me. And so we're going to do a total of 20 chains for this hat. You could do more chains if you would like, if you would want to make it to have a brim that you fold up. For this one, it doesn't need to have a brim. It hits me about right at the eyebrows. So if you want to pause here, and I'll meet you back at the 20th chain. Now that we've done 20 chains, this is what it should look like. Each of these V stitches is a chain, and this is how wide our project's going to be. And then now we're going to work lengthwise. So once we have 20 chains, we want to chain one more. So it's 20 chains plus 1, and this is to start making our first row. So we want to start in the second chain from the hook. So here's our hook. Here's chain 1. We're not going to go in there. Chain 2, and we were going to put it right in here to do our first half double crochet. So for a half double crochet, we are going to yarn over, put it through the second chain from the hook, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 3. And that's our first half double crochet. So yarn over, go through the next chain, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 3. That's our second half double crochet. And we're going to do a total of 20 half double crochets. We had 20 chains, so we want 20 half double crochets to make our rows even. So once again, you yarn over, go through your next chain, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 3. And I'm going to fast forward this. You can pause here and meet me back at your 20th half double crochet. So now I'm working my 20th one. And now we're going to start our row 2. So for row 2, we want to chain 1, and then we want to turn our work. And so now we're going to make the rib look. We are going to work the half double crochets now into the back loop. So we're not going to go into the front here like we normally would. We're going to turn it a little bit, and it's in this top V part right here. The very first one right here, we're going to work the half double crochet in between this, so in the back loop. So to do that, we are going to, again, the same thing, yarn over, work it into the back loop of your first stitch there. So you have 3 loops on your hook. And now we're going to yarn over again, pull through 1, there's 3 loops, then yarn over, pull through all 3. And we're going to work 19 of these half double crochets. Remember, we had 20 half double crochets at the bottom, or our first row. So now we're going to do 19 worked in the back loop, and then on the 20th, I will fast forward to get there in a minute. We're going to work that into the front loop. So you can pause here and do your 19 half double crochets, and I'll meet you back there in a minute. Okay, so I just finished my 19th half double crochet. So for the 20th one, instead of working it in the back loop right here again, we are going to work it into the front right here. So right in there is where you're going to insert your hook. So it's going to go through like 2 loops. So yarn over, go through the front. And so now it's going to look like you have 4 loops on your hook. Now you yarn over, pull through the 2, and then yarn over, pull through 3. And so now that finished our second row. So now we're going to start our third row, chain 1, turn your work, And now we're going to just do the same exact thing. We're going to do 19 half double crochets worked into the back loop of your first stitch right here. We're going to do 19 of them, and then you'll work the 20th one in the front. So yarn over, go through your first stitch, pull through one, yarn over, pull through the 3 loops. And so you're going to continue doing your 19 half double crochets, and then again on your 20th one you're going to work it into the front loop. So I will pause here and I'll meet you back at the 20th one again. Okay, so we're back finishing up my 19th. Now again we're going to go through the front instead of the back loop. So we're going to go through the front. So yarn over, go through the front, which is like having 2 loops. So you have a total of now 4 loops on your crochet hook. Yarn over, go through the 2. Now you have 3. Yarn over, go through 3. So you're just going to continue this pattern, chain 1 to go to your next row, turn your work, and you're going to continue this for as many rows as you want your project long. So that's why this is a really nice, easy pattern. Once you kind of get the first and second row down, then it's all the same after that. So my project for me is a total of about 18 inches long, and that's 30 rows. My head circumference is 21.5 inches around. So if you have a bigger head circumference, you'll want to do a few more rows, but I did 30. Again, it's only 18 inches because remember we do have a little bit of stretch in there. So that's why I went a few inches shorter than the 21.5 because we have some stretch that we need to account for. The other thing you can do is just continually pick up your project, put it around your head to see if it fits. Now let's make our hat. So we're going to take our project and we're going to fold the 2 ends together like this. And then we are going to slip stitch the 2 ends together. So you're going to take your working yarn, put your loop on your crochet hook, and I have it the inside facing me or the wrong side facing me right now. And so we have our loop on our 1 crochet hook, and then this is our foundation chain. We're going to put the stitch right into the foundation chain and then the back loop on the other side. So put it through your foundation chain, yarn over, and the first one we're going to pull through the 2 loops, and that's going to connect them together. And now we're going to go through the back loop and then the foundation chain. So there's 3 loops on the hook now. Yarn over, pull through all 3. And now go to our next one. Go through the back loop, go through the foundation chain, yarn over, and pull through all 3. And you're going to continue doing this slip stitch all the way down, and this kind of makes it look as seamless as possible. And this is a very easy way to join the 2 ends. So if you want to pause here and I'll meet you back down at the end, I'm going to fast forward. Okay, now we're down at the end. I'm doing one of my last slip stitches. And then when you get your last one, you'll see there's like a little V where they've come together. So I go down 1 more stitch and do 1 more slip stitch on both sides. So I got 1, and then I'm going to connect the other side just to make it look as flat as possible where the 2 seams come together or the 2 ends come together. And I just do 1 more slip stitch, and you kind of play with it to see what looks the best. And now we cut our end of our yarn and then we pull it all through. And this is my tail end of my working yarn and the tail end of where my slip knot was. And so we're going to knot those together to join them. And you want to leave a long tail because we're going to use that to make our hat. Get a needle. I like these wide eye plastic needles. And now we're going to weave in and out on the top of the stitches all the way around so we can cinch our hat closed. So we're making like a drawstring effect. So we just weave in and out and all the way around. And this is why you want to have a long tail end of your yarn. So if you didn't start with quite a long enough one, when you go to cut your yarn from your yarn skein, just make sure you have enough so you can go around the circumference of your project. So we're going to weave this in and out, and I will, you can pause here and I will fast forward and I'll meet you back when we go all the way around. Okay, now that we've gone all the way around, we're going to take the two ends and we're just going to pull to cinch it closed. And then just look at your outside to see how the hole looks, to make sure you don't have any weird bubbles or anything. Pull it tight, and then take the two tail ends of both working and your beginning yarn, and you're going to knot it down together to keep that closed. And then I like to take my needle, and then I like to sew back and forth a few times where we cinch the top of the hat closed, and this will just make sure everything stays nice, tight, and secured and cinched down. So I sew it back and forth a few times, and then I will do a couple more knots as well, and this just keeps everything in its place. Now that that's done, and I'm going to knot it down a few more times, and the last thing you need to do is just weave in your ends. This took about a yarn skein and a half, so I had two. So I had to join the yarn at one point to give me a few extra rows. So I'm just going to weave in all those ends and weave in the ends at the top. And then I cut off any excess that there might be. And here is how your hat's going to look. We can turn it right side out again. And here's the beanie hat. So you can leave it just like this, or you can also add a pom-pom at the top. I will show you how to do that. So I get these pom-poms from Amazon, and they have this elastic loop attached to them, which is really nice. I take just some extra yarn and I pull it through that loop and then put both ends on my needle, and I put it right down through the center of the hat on the outside, and then I pull it through to the inside. Pull out your yarn, and just be careful at this point and tug on it so you get the loop coming through it, and then you can use your button to secure down your hat like so, and remove your excess yarn. And now your pom-pom's attached, and it can be removed because you're not supposed to wash those. And then if you want to fluff it up a little bit, just take your blow dryer and you can fluff up your pom-pom, and your beanie hat is complete. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all the likes and the follows and comments, and I hope you enjoy making this project as much as I did. Have a great day and happy crafting.